Is it normal to feel worse before you feel better with this kind of work? Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. We don't have a lot of awareness around our internal condition, about the human condition. When we've been like numbing ourselves, distracted, and just telling ourselves the same thought on repeat, like I'm not enough. I cannot do this. My life is horrible. The people around me don't love me. Like when we feed ourselves this, we start to believe it, right? And that is the only reality that we have. And so when we start doing this work, then more is revealed to us. We start having awareness around other parts of us that hasn't necessarily come to light for a long time because we haven't been looking at it. And so with that awareness comes uh it comes an emotional attachment to it, right? Because that we're finding out things about ourselves that we didn't know, and we are going to feel worse about it. That's okay. Here, let me show you really quick. Think about it like this. So here you are. So you're here. Boom. Okay. And you're going along, right? And your life sucks, which is fine. My life sucks sometimes too. And so do I. So you're going along this path, right? And like you're at the lowest of low that you can possibly imagine right now. Or maybe you've been lower at a point, but you're still going to start diving in this work. So this is all you know, right? Is this line right here. This is all you know. And then when you start diving into this work, you get some hope. You get some hope about this working. And then you start finding out some truth. You start finding out truth. And this plummets, right? And so this is the danger point right here. This is danger. And the reason why this is danger is because you're starting to see things that make you uncomfortable because truth hurts sometimes. And if we're looking at truth about ourselves and the things that we've done and where we've been and the way that we've thought about ourselves and convinced ourselves that we suck so bad, when we start looking at that, like it hurts so bad because we're starting to see that the fault is nobody else's fault. It is our responsibility alone for all of the stuff that we've done. Uh, it's our responsibility to do something about that, right? And a lot of the stuff that we're looking at might not be your fault that you went through it, but it is your responsibility to heal from it, right? And so, in order to do this work, you're gonna have this dip. And there's so many people who leave at this point because they don't they can only experience what's on the other side from what people tell them. That's the only way they can experience it from what people, so they're they're only experiencing it vicariously, meaning they're living through somebody else's version of what that thing is on the other side. And so the but I guarantee you, right? Like you're going to feel low, but in this course there are so many tools to help you through this point, this low spot. There's so many tools. There's a community. There's all of this stuff. And you're not going to stay there for long, right? There's a certain point in this where your ego breaks and then you start to change. You start to get connected in a way with yourself that you've never been connected before. And when that happens, this this baseline, this baseline right here is no longer a baseline, right? Like you skyrocket. You this I can't make this up, dude. You skyrocket to a point that you didn't know. And so the boundaries of your mind of what is possible start to fade away, right? And you start pushing the limits of your character to a point where you are that somebody different and you had no idea. And then people are telling you this. Like I remember the first time that somebody told me, "Hey, you're a nice person." I was like, what? There's no way because I was such an asshole at this point. I was so like my whole life I had been like RBF, like get away from me. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to have a conversation with you. And so the first time that somebody said, "You're a very nice person," like it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, what? Are you serious? And Like, I had to consciously grow into the new role that people was saying to that I was, because I me, a kind person, and I started, like, having awareness around me just being very genuine and open with people and, like, really getting to know the struggles that they had, and so getting to know them and just being able to identify with the struggles because of everything that I've been through, they saw that as a kind person because I was willing to tell them the truth. And so this I exploded here. Exploded. I was like, "Holy shit, there's no way this is possible." And of course that pink cloud, that euphoria, that dopamine of, man, I'm a new person, starts to wear off, right? And so I start to come down again. But like my new baseline is here now, not here. So this is my new baseline, right? And like we ebb and flow within this baseline. But as long as you keep moving forward, the pain that you felt here is not going to hold as much weight as it is ever. It's not going to hold as much weight. And this, I, this is the model, right? So let me show you the model, the roadmap here. So this right here is is where you're at right here. Okay. Now this descent and this right here is related to this section right here. Okay. And then look, there's the ascent. The ascent is coming out of the water where you're going up here. And then the explosion, this rocket ship, dude, what I was telling you about is like so powerful. Okay. And you what ends up happening is, all right, you have your earth. Let's just say this is the earth, okay, with some oceans, blah blah blah. Okay. And this is the moon. This is why I use this analogy. Craters. Oops. Here's the moon. And you got your craters here. Okay. And so that looks like a weird face. Okay. So we go into the oceans, right? The whole model's going into the oceans, the deep, dark depths that nobody's ever seen before, so that you can get rid of it. And Earth has a gravity, and the moon has a gravity too, which is 1/6 that of Earth. And so if you look at the Earth and the moon as the stuff that you suffer from that holds the weight, the gravity, like we will launch off into this into onto the moon and land onto the moon where the suffering of all your stuff is 1/6 that of the earth. Now you're never going to get rid of that suffering, you're never going to get rid of that stuff that you've been through, because that's what has defined who you are, right? That is who what has built your character, your values, your morals, everything that you've been through. And through this work you get to change pieces of you, but you'll always live with it. And the point of this whole work is to minimize the amount of gravity that it has, an influence that it has on your life. Okay, I'm going way off. Let's go um back. Okay. Yeah, so it's normal definitely to feel worse before it feels better. But when it does feel better, it is insane at how beautiful your life can be.